Oh, yeah. Freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future, yeah. And I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
49er Minded. It's not just a thought process, but a way of life. 49er Minded. 49er Minded. I can't shake it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A red and gold session. About our red and gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions. Let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how they spin in the spot. Let's all that back, all that crack, all that strip, fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the storyline, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind. 49er minded. It's not just a thought process, 49er minded, but a way of life. Bashar. 49er minded. Way of life. 49er minded.
What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing on a Saturday evening? Welcome to another edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. My next guest, some of you may have heard of him, some of you haven't. He's not necessarily big on YouTube, but he's got a pretty big following on Instagram, and I'm going to bring him on right now. His name is Mike, but you may know him as the Angry Degenerate. How are you doing, buddy? What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I'm glad to be on your show talking 49er football. If you've ever seen me on social media, I'm pretty active on IG and pretty active on TikTok with some unhinged takes.
That's right. Oh, this guy does. If you guys have seen me when I get mad, when I do my takes, and I don't pull any punches. So, and this guy's on that same level, if not even worse than I am. So it's all good, man. I love that because it shows the heart, it shows the passion.
I try to be authentic to myself. I try to be authentic to, the 49ers, and I try to give fair opinions. I'm not a homer by any means. I am a 49er fan, but I try to call it down the middle. But, it's always a good time also annoying the other fan bases out there.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and for those of you who haven't seen this guy's rants, I just stumbled across his Instagram some way, somehow. I think it was via suggested videos. You know how on Instagram suggested videos will pop up because they know I watch 49er videos. So their algorithm is telling me, hey, watch this guy's videos. I'm like, who's this guy? Boom. Oh, this dude's funny as hell. I'm going to fucking follow him. And I just kept watching your fucking videos, and I was sharing your videos, and I just hit you up, and I know I never saw you on any shows. I was like, hey, dude, I do this fucking 49er show on YouTube. You got to come on my channel, man.
I appreciate you for having me on. I'm excited to talk about the games of the past and the games of the future.
That's right. So let me say what's up to a couple of people who trickled in here. Usually I have hello people in here waiting in the wings, and I feel bad for starting late. But this time around, I guess it's a Saturday night, and people are busy eating with their families, or they're trying to get ready. Some people are getting ready to check into their hotels to go to the game tomorrow. But we have two very good guests actually in the chat, and I'm very happy they're here. Silverado Ked from Real Talk Niner Talk. He's also a freelance writer, writes about the 49ers. Just a great dude. He coaches. He's got that defensive coordinator mentality from his coaching experience. Silverado Kev, repping it in Southern California. He says, what up, Doe, at 49er Minded? Great to have you in here. Silverado Kev is awesome. If you ever watch him on Real Talk Niner Talk, he has excellent takes and just brings really good insight. And he says things I never heard of before because he's got that defensive coordinator background. So it's good to have him on. We got Niner Fanatic Podcast. It is Peter. It says, what up, Bashar? I'm going to have him on my show in the future, actually. I was lucky enough to be a guest on his channel. So, great guy and very knowledgeable. And Peter's awesome, man. Niner Fanatic Podcast. So this is what I do. Whenever I have a new guest on, we try to dig deep and go way back. There's an introduction to how it all started, how it all began. Obviously, you're a 49er fan. You rock the red and gold just like I do. But how did it start? How did you become a Niner fan?
You know what? My first recollection as a 49er fan, is 1998 Garrison Hurst 96-yard touchdown to the house against the New York Jets at Candlestick Park when they used to have, when the Giants used to play there. That is the first memory of mine of being a 49er fan. And in fact, that was my first jersey, was a Garrison Hurst jersey. And ever since then, it's just been a love fest. 49er games, they define whether I am feeling great and feeling bad. And, I'm just lucky now. I live in the South Bay, so I'm able to go to so many Niner games and just experience the fan base. And I've traveled to a few away games. Don't let anybody out there ever shit talk the Niner fan base. We are one of the strongest fan bases in the United States of America. We travel very far and very deep. I was at Seattle last year. It was fantastic. 3 years ago, because we had the pandemic, I was in New Orleans. Almost the goddamn bottom bowl was filled with red. The Niner fan base, the Niner faithful, the 49er faithful, don't let anybody talk shit about us, because we're strong, we're mighty, and I love to be a 49er. It's one of my biggest passions.
Oh, yeah, same here, brother. I'm going to welcome somebody else from the chat. Really good follower of mine, and a great dude. His name's Rick Diaz. I believe he's based over in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. I know he was at the game against the Bears. He says, "Good evening, gentlemen." On the piano, nice background. Nice jersey, red and gold. San Francisco 49ers going down. I don't know about the piano reference, though. What piano do you see? Are you sitting on the piano? I am a keyboard player, and I have tickled some ivories, but if we have that in common, that's cool. But I don't know what he meant by the piano. Maybe he's sitting at his piano right now as we speak. Playing Bang Bang Niner Gang. I don't know, playing something. All right, let me see what's up to... Go ahead,
tell us about the piano, Rick. What you talking about over there?
So we got John V in the chat, great buddy of mine, repping the 49ers 24/7 in the state of Ohio. Says, strong, mighty, and mean to our quarterbacks. He's actually from the Locker Room Rant podcast on YouTube. It's a great podcast. It's a collaborative effort between him and two friends of his that he grew up with. And they're always yelling and bickering. They're literally yelling at each other. These are friends that long, lifetime friends since they were kids. And it's just a great show. I was a guest of theirs last week, and I did another guest spot on there before, and it's always awesome. If you haven't watched the Locker Room Rant, subscribe to them. They're tons of fun. John B., my brother from another mother, he's an awesome guy, dude, great dude, loves the 49ers. He's the only 49er fan on the show. His other friend is a Browns fan, and the other guy is a Buffalo Bills fan. So it is what it is. And Rick Diaz agrees with you. He says, it is true, the faithful across the country, across the world, that's why they don't like us, they're jealous of us. Oh yeah, they're also jealous of those 5 rings. And just in case you guys are not familiar with this guy, this is Mike, who goes by the Angry Degenerate. And why is he the Angry Degenerate? I compiled I think we're just going to go play all 4 videos now. I think what I'm going to do. I found about 4 of my favorite videos of the Angry Degenerate that I'm going to play from your Instagram channel, for your Instagram page, that is. And again, I had no idea who this guy was. I go on Instagram, I watch some 49er clips on there, I post my 49er content on there, I might post little snippets of my shows, and I ran across this dude yelling, I'm not even going to spoil it for you guys, I'm just going to queue up the videos and play them, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get going with this one. Yeah, because it's tons of fun when you watch this guy on Instagram. If you're on Instagram and you haven't followed him yet, follow him. I do have all the links to his social media, by the way, in the description box of this video. It'll show the Instagram page, and then it has another link from Linktree that takes you to all the links of the social media. We're talking YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, you name it, he's there. So let me hit share my screen, and we're gonna have fun, man. We're just gonna sit back. I'm gonna shut up because I talk too much, and we're gonna listen to we're gonna watch and listen to the Angry Degenerate do his thing on Instagram, and this is how I sat there and discovered this guy. I was like, whoa, I gotta bring this guy to the show. Check it out. Okay, let me unmute.
But in this case, fuck it, they deserve it. The Seattle Seahawks are giving away free tickets against the Chicago Bears in their preseason matchup. And you know why they're doing that? Because their team's gonna suck. And their fans are gonna fucking suck. And they suck. And I'm gonna be happy to watch them suck. You know why? Because they're going to be fucking losers. Back to the kingdom you go. I don't like to kick people while they're down, but in this case, fuck it. They deserve it. The Seattle Seahawks are giving away free tickets.
That one started to repeat itself, but
I actually do love to kick people when they're down, especially if they're Seahawks fans.
notice, hey, I'm all for it. And how fitting, because we're playing them tomorrow, right? And I am going to the game. Just like my song says, who's going to the game, what's good, what's good. If you haven't heard that song on my channel, it's me doing this fakey 40 voice. It's like a wannabe version of Tell Me When to Go, but a 49er version of it. It's called Who's Going to the Game, What's Good. And if you see what I got here, there's going to be some rainfall tomorrow in Santa Clara. I got my ponchos. I got about a 10-pack of ponchos from Walmart, so I'm going to be prepared.
I'll be there too. I'll be there too. Green Lot 1. Check us out. Green Lot 1.
Are you going to be at Pole 20 at the 408 Swag Empire Road Tailgate? Are you going to be over there?
I'll be near the Niner Empire.
Okay. Probably Pole 20 then. Probably Pole 20 at Green Lot 1. I'll run into you, no doubt. And so we're going to be on to our next video. I'm going to close out that last one. And we're going to share the next video. And these are just fun. I just love watching these things. I can watch these things all day. So
Appreciate
we're
it.
good. Oh, yeah, man. There you go.
Now, the 49ers had a horrible, very terrible, bad first week. But in week 2, after the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl, the 49ers are going to conquer them, ravage them, beat them bad in their home opener. 49ers win by a mile. But if they don't, I'm going to be at the home opener, drunk as fuck, and probably will not give a damn.
I probably will give a damn. I will give a damn on Monday after the hangover.
You know what? I wasn't like overly pissed. Sure, I was pissed in the back of my head, but I wasn't. When we lost on Sunday, I wasn't angry like cussing up a storm or people saw me with a bad smug on my face or anything like that. I didn't really show that I was angry. It was just deep. I had a good way of hiding it. But if we lose on Sunday, man, I spent all that money to go there. We might possibly sit in the rain. I'm really hyped up and excited about Trey Lance, and because I'm a big Trey Lance guy. You know, if you guys don't know me by now, I just am. And I want to get that W out of the way. You know, you just want to get that first W out of the way. What up, Cal Young? How you doing, man? He says, what up, Bashar and my fellow faithful. Let's get this dub on Sunday. Oh, yeah, we were just talking about that, man. He's going to the game. I'm going to the game. She's going to the game. He's going to the game. We're all going to the game. We better get that W. So, so we're going to do another video for the Angry Degenerate. This is the second to last clip, and I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to play this one really, really quick. And here we go. This is the next one. Oops.
It ain't because I'm wearing a 49er hat. This offseason has been a complete train wreck for the Cardinals. First, you got the Kyler Murray situation where the owner who writes the checks doesn't think his star quarterback studies. Then, number 2, you have Kyler Murray now calling plays in a preseason game. Yeah, meaningless, but you know why Cliff gave him that opportunity? It's because Kyler keeps jabbing him. Last year, you kept jabbing him about the play calling, kept jabbing Cliff. So Cliff is like, well, then you fucking try your hand at it. And guess what? He fucking sucked at it. Just like his play sucked last postseason. Just like they're gonna suck this season. Cardinals, you fucking losers. I'm out on the Cardinals.
I am not a big Kyler Murray guy. I understand he has tons of talent, but man, oh man, he's a drama queen.
Yeah, I had no idea it was that bad with him, man. I didn't know that they had to write a freaking clause in his contract that he wasn't studying the playbook and he wasn't doing his due diligence. That's kind of funny that you're making all that money and you're not willing to work on your craft. And
he'd rather be on Twitch playing video games.
I guess so. Now, before we get into the next video, because it's only one more video of yours that I'm going to play, unless you have something else in mind, you want to drop another link of one of your favorites. But I picked like 4 or 5 of my favorite ones, so to speak. But so I mean, you're growing up as a Niner fan, and you said that was that your first game though when you saw Garrison Hurst, or it was your first memory of watching a game on TV?
That was my first memory of watching on TV. Now I'm not as privileged as some of you 49er fans who have seen the 5. I became a fan a little bit later. I am 30 years old.
Got you.
I never got to see that monkey off his back, the Steve Young monkey off of his back.
I was 19 when that happened, and I must say it was a lot of fun, and I tried to
So
rub it in.
I never got to see that. So the majority of my viewership of being a 49er fan was those early Jeff Garcia years, the late Steve Young years. In fact, I remember that hit from Aeneas Williams on Monday Night Football that pretty much ended Steve Young's career.
That sucked.
Transition to Jeff Garcia. Then we got the whole Dennis Erickson. Then we got Mike Nolan. Then we had Singletary. And it was a train wreck for so long until Jimmy Harbaugh came in and turned things around. And then it became a little train wreck.
And then we took a nosedive. We took a little nosedive.
Right. Yeah,
it's been very up and down. It's crazy.
But we're not the Raiders. So
but it's funny, though, because you mentioned Garrison Hurst. Garrison Hurst was my first jersey as well, and that's usually one of my template questions I usually ask fans, like, hey, what was your first jersey growing up as a kid? And it took me a while to actually get a Niner jersey. It wasn't until I was like 20 or something like that, maybe. So, but I wish I still had it, but it was one of those Nike screen print jerseys, and it didn't do well in the washer and dryer. Let's just say that. The numbers started peeling off and all that other crap. And, do you remember what the first game you went to was, though, as far as your first Niner game in attendance?
My first Niner game in attendance, and I don't know the year, might be 04, might be 05. And I think it might have been, it was Alex Smith's first year, I believe. So that was 05.
2005, Alex Smith's first year.
And I believe we played the Raiders in preseason. And that was my first experience at a Niner game, was to a Raider versus Niners preseason game. We sat at Candlestick Park, upper deck. That's all my folks could afford. And it was I don't remember shit about the game because it was preseason, but that was the first game I ever went to. I've been to some, going on during Mike Nolan era. I was a season ticket holder for 3 years.
I feel sorry for you during the Mike Nolan era. That must have been tough.
Oh yeah, man! I remember games where we were getting blown out 40-10 in the fourth quarter by the Falcons, and this wasn't the very good Falcons teams. These were pretty bad Falcons teams. I remember getting blown out by the Buffalo Bills at some point with Drew Bledsoe at quarterback when they had him. It was during those Singletary, Nolan, Erickson years. It was a tough time being a Niner fan, but you know what? Tailgating at Candlestick Park was always a blast.
Oh, tailgating at the stick was just legendary. And for those of you on my Facebook, if you're curious to see it, I can always share the video that I filmed of Mac Mall, Bay Area legendary rapper Mac Mall performing at a tailgate, and I produced this tailgate video of him. It was like a good 12 or 15 minutes of the tailgate party, and it's a cool video, and I got to meet him. I talked to him, really, really cool guy, and Candlestick had all sorts of fun little tailgates. Even when we sucked, we were terrible at one point, but the tailgates were off the chain. And a lot of memories of Candlestick, too. God rest his soul, my brother and I had a season ticket to Candlestick back in that 2012 season when we went to the Super Bowl. And I was at the Kaepernick game. I was at Kaepernick's first start, and then I was also at the Kaepernick playoff game against the Green Bay Packers, which was an excellent Candlestick memory. So, as a memory I share with my brother, and I hold that very dear to my heart. And a lot of us have those Candlestick memories, and just keep memorizing those things and try to relive them as much as possible, because it's always good to hold on to those things, in my opinion. So, hopefully, we can have some new memories for Levi's.
Hey, man, I was at that NFC title game where we blew the Packers out. That was a fantastic game. I was there.
So you were there for the Raheem Mostert game then, huh?
I was there. I took my son to the game. He was 2 at the time. Now he's 4. So that was his experience into the Niner faith. That was his indoctrination.
Yeah, that's a great game to go to. I sat at my cousin's house and watched that. And that must have been amazing to be there, without a doubt. I was at the game when stupid Kyle Williams messed up on those 2 punts, and for a good portion of the game, me, my brother, and my friends were jumping up and down, thinking that, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl. We were so happy, jumping up and down, hugging each other, only to see Kyle Williams muff another punt, and have the freaking Giants kick a damn field goal.
I was at the catch too, Vernon Davis.
Okay. That was the week before. Game. That was
correct.
That was the catch 3, actually. The catch 3 was Vernon Davis.
Catch 3, that's right.
Catch 3, yeah. Oh yeah, so what does Silverado Kev have to say? He is saying what? He says, hey, the homie Mac Mall, you going back at 49. My name is Young Mac Mall, Maine, and this is my opinion. Oh, for those of you that know Bay Area Rap, Mac Mall performed that song too. If you watch the tailgate video, I should upload it on this channel actually. But yeah, Mac Mall did perform This Is My Opinion, and really cool dude, man. It was a pleasure seeing him performing and having to talk to him. What sucks is there was a short little part where I was interviewing Mac Mall on site about a good 10 minutes before he performed at the tailgate, and the idiot holding my camera forgot to hit the record button. So he's like holding the camera like this, and I'm talking to him, I'm imitating. I get home, I'm going through my clips, and dude, that clip wasn't even recorded. I was so pissed, dude. But everything else turned out good. Oh man. What's up, Corey Davis? Corey Davis says, hello, 49er Miner and the Angry Degenerate. Welcome to the channel.
What's up, dude?
And Corey, I'm not going to get into details, but Corey is currently going through some health problems, so he needs your prayers. Really good dude, big support of the channel, and we're with you, Corey, man. We hopefully you fight through it with what you're dealing with, because you're a good dude, man. So we're with you, man. And we always appreciate your support on this channel and on all the other 49er podcasts, because we know you love the 49ers so much, and you're always here giving us your full support. We really appreciate it, man. Okay, I'm back. I don't know what the hell happened to my connection, but I'm back. You hear me?
Yep, hear you well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my network cable loves to dislodge out of my laptop. Believe it or not, guys, I was about this close to messaging Mike the Angry Degenerate about 40 minutes before the show started, telling him, hey, guess what, buddy? I'm going to have to cancel on this one because my laptop was not charging and my laptop power adapter was not plugging into my laptop properly. So I was freaking out, and then, where there's a will, there's a way. I was wiggling it around, and boom, I plugged it in, and hallelujah, it's charging. We're ready to go. We're here. There's a show. And I'm going to read one more comment, then we're going to jump into one more video for the Angry Degenerate on Instagram. Again, if you're not following the Angry Degenerate on social media, click on the description box of this video. I have the link to his Instagram, because his Instagram is just jamming, it's rocking. Check it out, it's lit, as they say. And there's another link tree. If you click link tree, you get all the links to his social media. He's all over social media. Follow him on Twitter, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Oh, and TikTok. As well. So on TikTok, you don't stop. That's the one social media I'm not on. But other people are, and he's on there. So whatever you get, wherever you're at in social media, just follow him. And Rick Diaz says this really quick. He says, I wasn't there at the Candlestick Park Stadium. I was wanting to see it, never did. Sorry to hear. And Levi's always wanted to see it, but it's not possible. He only knew my heart, and I would like to be there. Yeah, definitely check out Levi's whenever you get the opportunity. I like it. I think it's a cool stadium. And what else did he say? He said, I heard that Levi's, the parking lot, they do have, the tailgating is good at Levi's. He said, I wish I was here to the faith, in the parking lot, the party with the tailgates. That's my agreement. I know. He's typing a whole lot there, buddy. And we appreciate you, Rick Diaz. Levi's tailgates are fun. Don't get me wrong. The thing about Levi's is you have that huge parking lot, but then the biggest, fattest tailgate is actually at the secondary parking lot, which is Blue Lot 1. So you kind of got to cross like 3 or 4 streets to get there. But Candlestick did have that gigantic parking lot, and then they also had secondary satellite parking lots as well. So it's a little different. But it's a lot easier to get out of Levi's Stadium, though, if you're driving, than it was Candlestick. Candlestick, you sit there for freaking 90 minutes to get out or something. At times, it was terrible.
I take the VTA, and I'm in and out very quickly.
Yeah, the VTA is not too bad. The only bad part about taking the VTA when you're leaving the stadium is that there's a huge, gigantic line that you have to sit and wait through. But other than that, it's not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to play the last video from, I played about 4 of them, I believe, or 3 of them. And this is another one from Angry Degenerate on Instagram. This is how I discovered him. Follow him on Instagram if you don't have an Instagram account. If you have a TikTok account, follow him there. So let's go.
Ain't gonna say this is a fireable offense after week 1, but goddamn, what a horrible start to a coaching career. Nathaniel Hackett, false starts, delay of games, bad in-game coaching. I almost thought he was Kyle Shanahan for a second. But in reality, Nathaniel Hackett, this week, you're the fucking loser of the week. Now, I ain't gonna say
I noticed that's a theme on your little rants. You always say you like to say "fucking loser of the week," right? Is that true?
You know, every personality out there, I feel, needs to have a trademark, and I feel like I have found the trademark.
And I will say this: some of my viewers do, from time to time, have their children watching. And I didn't put out a disclaimer before the show, and I dropped a few f-bombs on my channel. I'm not a saint or anything by any stretch of the imagination. But if you are watching with your kids, you may want to put them to sleep from time to time, or cover their ears from time to time during this broadcast.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Exactly. So we talked about your experiences as being a 49er fan. And that's all fine and dandy. Like, what day did you wake up and say, hey, you know what? I'm assuming you were probably the guy that would call your friend up after a game or sit with your friends during the game, and you'd probably be banging down some beers, and you'd probably start swearing and going on your little rants. What made you say, hey, you know, I'm going to record myself doing these rants and just put them out there for the crazy world of the internet to watch and see? How'd that happen?
You know, just one day. You know, doing podcasting and doing all this social media stuff to me is a little bit of like therapy, so to speak. I don't need a therapist. This is my therapy. But in reality, you know, for many years, a lot of buddies of mine are like, you know, you should really try, you know, talking about sports. When I was in college, way back in the day, I interned at ABC 7 News in the sports department, got to work alongside a lot of the, you know, Larry Beal, if you've watched ABC 7 News, and I really dug the sports entertainment business, but
sports entertainment like WWE or
no, well, I mean, in a way, when you have a personality kind of like the Angry Degenerate, you know, that's kind of in a way a personality.
Yeah,
because I in my regular day-to-day life, my name is Michael Alexandre. Nice to meet you. But when I go on these rants, I'm suddenly the Angry Degenerate. It's the character within the character. And it comes out during 49er games, during any types of football events, during anything that gets the juices pumping. Especially, I also have a segment on my show when I talk gambling. That's kind of where the degenerate comes from, because that's gambling degeneracy.
Yeah, good thing you don't live where I live. I literally live right by Thunder Valley. For those of you guys that don't know, it's a casino. I'm literally
I only do sports gambling.
Oh, okay.
I don't do.
They are trying to bring. Aren't they trying to bring sports gambling to all the California casinos? Right? Aren't they lobbying for that?
They are. Proposition 27, I believe, is what it is.
Yeah, I see the commercial for it. I get like 20 times a day.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be selfish, and I'm going to vote yes on that.
So if you vote yes, it means you're for it then, right? Yeah, I got you. Usually the sports fans are all for that. They're eating that one up big time. No Border Sports is in the house. That is Crypto Ryan. I'm pretty sure he is a collab with him multiple times. Great dude. He's got this dude with a big bushy beard and has plenty to say, plenty to talk about, and loves the Niners. Awesome guy, repping the Niners over in the Pacific Northwest. The No BS podcast. I was going to say, you know what? I know that you do have a podcast, but I haven't clicked on. I haven't, honestly, no offense, but I haven't sat and listened to it just yet. I know it's an audio-only podcast. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. It's taken, let's just say it's taken a little bit of a hiatus, and I have focused more so on my social media versus the podcast, but it will be making its comeback in 2 weeks' time.
I did see something on there. When I clicked on one of the links, it says like, "Oh, we'll be coming back shortly" or something. Yep. But is it just a solo podcast, or do you work with somebody on that?
It's just a solo podcast. I do everything in-house. I do the graphics. I do the producing. I do the editing. I do it all. I come up with the material. I come up with the topics. I do it all. It is audio. It's not a video podcast, but it gives me enough content to spread out to the faithful social media followers or enemies, because I have a lot of enemies on the social media. People do not like.
You're kind of like Drake. I got enemies, got a lot of enemies. I don't know what he says after
You
that.
should
Time to get away.
you should see my inbox sometimes. It is pretty.
Well, I would love to see it. I wish we could do that as a segment. I wish I had access to. Like, hey, let's pull up Angry Degenerate's inbox and see what's lurking in there today. Let's read it. Well, give me a short little example of one of your favorite inbox messages or DMs that you've gotten in the past.
Well, I've gotten a couple where it's like, oh, I know you're from so and so area. I know you're from San Jose. I know where to find you. I'm gonna beat your ass, or like stuff like that. I've gotten stuff like that before, threatening comments, and it's just I'm not even
over sport. What did you say to make them so mad when they wanted to fight you?
You know what? It's Raider fans. That's what it is.
Oh, it was one of your Raider rants. I saw one rant of yours about the Raiders. I was going to put it, but I figured, I have so many rants on here. But unless you have a really, really good Raider rant that you think's worthy, feel free to drop the link in the private chat and I'll play. If you think it's your best Raider rant, go ahead.
I mean, the Raiders are so easy to rant about that you'll just say about anything about them. I mean, they haven't been a damn good football team in God knows when. Some 20 plus years, and their fans are so fucking loud for no reason whatsoever. It's like, your team's garbage. Sit down.
Were you I think you were the one that did this. I could have sworn you were the one that did this. I must have missed it. But didn't you do that rant where you had like on your background where it was like the list of all the Raiders' failed draft picks within the Mike Mayock era?
That was me.
That was yours. Maybe I should
me.
find that one. I gotta see if I can find that. That one was pretty damn funny. If I can find, I'm going through your Instagram page right now. I thought that was hilarious. One thing I thought that was kind of funny about the Raiders, and we were mentioning wrestling earlier, is that I forgot the guy's name, Dean Ventrell, if I'm saying his name right, or
Dan Ventrell.
Dan Ventrell. There you go. I had half his name right. He left the Raiders. I think he was like a vice president of the Raiders, and he left the Raiders to be like a head executive with the WWE.
Yeah,
and there were so many funny tweets about that, like, oh well, how shocking is it that the Raiders are have a pipeline of talent, funneling into the WWE,
Yeah, he left the Raiders. He was the team president for the Raiders for quite some time. He helped build the stadium because Mark Davis can't really do anything on his own. Dude's kind of weird. Let's just leave it at that. But he then
he still doesn't know how to find a decent hairdresser.
He doesn't. And then he got fired because Dan Ventrell complained to the NFL that that Mark Davis is doing a lot of shady things behind the scenes, which is why he's getting investigated by the IRS. And then obviously he got fired and he got paid out, and he is now the executive vice president of like talent evaluation with WWE or something.
Okay, yeah. Well, the Raiders weren't too good at evaluating talent for NFL. Maybe he'll do a little bit better with the WWE. It was funny because I mentioned your rants and everything. You know what? I haven't watched wrestling in years as like an actual fan. And I'm from the 80s. When I was a little kid, right. I was actually a big wrestling fan before I was a 49er fan.
Right.
And like back then, like when you heard and I'm not even talking about the damn wrestlers. The wrestlers themselves obviously had way more talent in terms of persona in front of the camera, charisma, all that captivated you. That's why I was so hooked on it. I wasn't really too big on the acrobatic moves or anything like that, but just the larger than life characters in front of the screen, and they knew how to talk. And when you do your little rants, it's like back then, like they had amazing announcers like Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. And we're going a little off topic here, but you bring that fire, like that humor, that passion, and it's all wrapped in one. Like I think you'd be like pretty badass if the WWE hired you as an announcer.
Hey man, I think that would be a damn dream job. I'll take Pat McAfee's job if he wants to give it to me.
Yeah, there you go. I haven't seen. You know what? I like McAfee on his little podcast, but I haven't yet to watch clips of McAfee doing actual wrestling commentary. But I heard he does. And for the record, I was at Levi's when they had WrestleMania there. A friend of mine had an extra ticket, and I went just to, it was cool because I was like, hey, I finally got to go to WrestleMania. So before I get into the Niner talk really quick, I asked this question because if you ever checked on my Instagram, we got somebody dropping some names here. Kyle Young, I know Kyle Young, I know you're not from California, and the names that you flash on the screen definitely tells me you're from the South, maybe Atlanta, Georgia area, or somewhere in Tennessee, because he said Gordon Soley and Tony Schiavone. Those are the old school WWC, NWA announcers, and that's going way back. That's some good knowledge there. Yeah, because I used to sit and watch WWF and AWA, and sometimes I was bored. I'd catch those little smaller independents wrestling things. But that's a little off topic. I just wanted to ask you a question though, because you've probably been on my Instagram. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of pizzas that I post, but if I got a pizza oven in the backyard, and I'm all about making pizza. What goes better with football than pizza, right? So I throw my little pizza question at people. So when it comes to pizza, so some people, they like their little Papa John's style pizza, their California style pizza, quote unquote, with more of a puffy crust. Some people like Chicago deep dish style with really, really thick crust and heavy toppings and heavy cheese and all that. Some people like the crispy big slices of the New York slice. What's your preference when it comes to pizza?
You're gonna get me in trouble, but I am a New York slice pizza guy versus the Chicago style pizza. I do love me some Chicago style pizza, some deep dish pizza, but that to me is not a pizza for a football game. That is a pizza for a dinner.
You need a knife and fork to eat that
one. Right. And so I'll get me some Mountain Mike's pizza for those that are not from the Bay. Mountain Mike's Pizza is a decent place that I
Mountain Mike's actually exists in other states too, by the way. It does. Now, when I say California pizza, Mountain Mike's is kind of more California-ish pizza. Most of the chain pizzas are kind of like California-ish pizza. I'm all about New York pizza. If you see my pizza pictures, I make New York-style pizza all the time. I watch probably like 100 videos on how to make New York-style pizza at home, so I'm all about that. You can fold the crust and you get that thin crispy crust, and I'm all about that too. But hey, if it's pizza, as long as it's good, I'm gonna eat it. There's all different kinds.
Even bad pizza sometimes is good, man.
Like Little Caesars?
Yeah, man. It's very rare that you can fuck up a pizza, man.
It is, but when a pizza is bad, that means that's like a big shame, when you have a bad pizza. And I did have a bad pizza about a month ago. There's some new place that opened up out in Roseville, and I just tried it because I saw it, and I tried it, and I just wasted $13 on like 2 terrible slices of pepperoni. I would never. It was literally like lunch cafeteria pizza. That's how bad this pizza was, and we all know cafeteria pizza is always bad pizza. So, all right. So speaking of the things that are bad, the 49ers did have a game in Chicago. Just what were your thoughts going on when you were watching the game? And I'm sure we all had expectations. If you watch my prediction shows, I'm sitting up here with No Border Sports, sitting up here with Niners Sickness, and we're talking, oh yeah, it's going to be 34-14, or it's going to be 34-17. Like, when you're sitting and watching the game, like, if there was anything for you to like, what did you like and what didn't you like? Go ahead and you have the floor.
The game itself, I had it as the lock of the week because I love to gamble, as mentioned previously. I had it as the lock of the week. I thought there was no way in hell that the Chicago Bears, if you just lay them all down, the 49ers are so much more talented than the Chicago Bears. But I also have the realization that we also have a very young quarterback that we need to embrace, and we need to know that coming out of the gate, we got to give him some time. And I thought that was I thought it was a big focal point of the game. I thought when the 49ers were up 10-0, I thought it was game over. They didn't have anything going. Then of course we get hit with some, very bad penalties, which you cannot have 12 penalties in the game, 13 penalties, whatever the hell it was, and expect to win the game.
Especially on the road. On the road.
Yeah. And in bad weather in the weather.
I don't care. And people are like, oh, well, the 49ers, like some Niner fans were pissed off. We lost to a bad team. Look, in those conditions, I'm not trying to blame the rain, talent kind of goes out the window, dude. And you better be on your P's and Q's when you do play in those rain games. You better be fucking disciplined for that shit. And our linebackers took a shit on the field that day. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think Dre Greenlaw had a couple of very bad penalties. I think our secondary, for the most part, there were a couple blown coverages. Obviously, the Dante Pettis touchdown, which, by the way, was Dante fucking Pettis. I can't believe we let him score a touchdown on it.
Didn't that feel like a nightmare when it happened, dude? I was like, I'm surprised you didn't make a video about that where you're watching the play. Like, dude, cover him, or why are you leaving him fucking open?
The guy was damn near out of the league last year. Barely had any playing time with the New York Giants. Hangs on with the Bears, and of course he scores a touchdown against us. I mean, but it was one of those Justin Fields crazy. He almost got sacked, and then he got out of the pocket and threw it. He did that to us last game at Soldier
Tell
Field
me
as
it didn't
well.
remind you of Russell Wilson, though.
It was Russell Wilson-esque. It absolutely was Russell Wilson-esque. You know, I don't think Justin Fields is going to be that bad of a quarterback. You know, going forward, I think he's actually has a lot of talent. He's actually hindered by the talent around him. I mean, literally, all he has is David Montgomery and Mooney or Maury, the wide receiver.
Mooney, yeah.
Mooney. And that's really all he has, and it's unfortunate because you know they're going through a rebuilding phase here, which kind of sucks that we lost to a team. Because usually when you are going through the season, you're going through the schedule, you're like, okay, W. I was like, okay, we got it 2-0 right here, right to start off the season, but then you kind of have to put on your thinking cap on a little bit and think, you know, we have Trey Lance, we have a young quarterback. Rome wasn't built in a day. Now, if he goes into Seattle, if we go into in Santa Clara and he struggles again, you know, there's going to be people out there, the media. There's going to be questions, and those guys in the locker room are going to feel the pressure. I personally think that the 49ers. I'm not going to call this a must-win game because there's no must-wins in 2 weeks in. But I think this game will tell a lot about the grit that the team has because they went out and disappointed week 1. They need to come out and show out in week 2 against a team that they should really just dominate, the Seattle Seahawks. I know Seattle has had their number, but if you just, like I said, if you lay them all down, the Niners are so much more supremely talented than the Seahawks. And then they just lost Jamal Adams as well. So they lost another key cog.
Yeah, and it sounds like Kittle's going to play, too. I mean, we should eat them alive with Kittle, playing out there. And then we got guys to help him out on third down, like Juwan Jennings, who had a terrible camp. Just kept dropping everything in sight for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. The final preseason game, he starts catching passes. I'm like, okay, this might be a sign of good things to come. He looked nice out there against the Bears. It's unfortunate we didn't target him more. It's unfortunate we didn't target Ayuk more. And Crypto Ryan from No Border Sports said this. He said, hey, Kyle, let's run some more bootlegs. And I remember Grant Cohn said this. He said, like, Kyle in the first half made Trey Lance comfortable running the play action rather than the naked bootlegs. What do you know? Trey Lance is throwing some nice-ass, deep little intermediate passes out there. And second half comes around, we went away from it. Why, Kyle? Why? And I'm not one to shit on Kyle, but don't stop running something if it works. You keep running that until they stop you.
Well, it's around the same time Elijah Mitchell left the game is when the 49ers started kind of struggling because they couldn't run the ball as much as they were with Elijah. And that's another problem because Kyle Shanahan running backs just constantly get in.
It sucks.
It's a yearly thing from Raheem Mostert to now Elijah Mitchell, and it's just we can't keep any of these guys healthy. And if you're gonna tell me that who's more talented, Jeff Wilson Jr. or Elijah Mitchell, it's of course Elijah Mitchell. So we're gonna have to see how we're gonna run the ball to start off the game because Kyle. Just like his dad, he likes to run the ball, shove it down your throat to set up the pass. We'll see if we're able to do that with Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not trying to throw shade at the guy. I'm not trying to hate on the guy. And if he's watching, I have supported Jeff Wilson Jr. a lot. But the Jeff Wilson Jr. that I saw against Chicago, and a lot of the Jeff Wilson Jr. that I saw last year, I kind of feel like I'm Italian talking like this. I am Middle Eastern, but we talk with our hands a lot too. But Jeff Wilson Jr. last year did not impress me. I know he's coming off of injuries and stuff like that. Now the 2020 version of Jeff Wilson Jr. I liked. He ran there was a running back in the day on the New York Giants named Charles Way, who was a fullback, but he was a fullback who would break open pretty decent 15, 20-yard runs. And from time to time, Jeff Wilson Jr. kind of looked like him, like a smaller version of him, basically. And I don't know, like I'm kind of more excited to see what TDP can do. I want to see what Jordan Mason can do. Jordan Mason should have gotten the Rock last week. I don't know why he didn't. I want to see what Marlon Mack can do that we just picked up. Silverado Kev has some comment in here. He was talking about the Bears game, and pretty soon we're going to start. We're going to play one more video because I found the Raider video, and then after that we'll talk about the preview with the Seahawks game, and then after that we'll talk about a meet and greet that's happening tomorrow in Sunnyvale, which is right by Santa Clara. But Silverado Kev, what up, Silverado Kev? He says, we got to play clean football. We sure do. We got to be disciplined. He said, Jennings also had a missed block or two last week. He did. It was towards the goal line, if I'm not mistaken. He got stifled. Would be big plays. Did get stifled because of crappy blocking at times. So did Ayuk, so did Brendo, so did Juice. Okay, I didn't know Juice missed that block. And McGlinchey, you mentioned McGlinchey. McGlinchey had, I don't know what is up with PFF, and I've defended McGlinchey before. I'm like the only person who's ever defended him because I have seen good from him. Like, he'll whiff on a bad play, but I've seen good from him, so on and so forth. But this last game, McGlinchey did not impress me at all. He really irritated me, and I was pretty mad because I wanted to see Trey Lance have more damn time in the pocket and not have to run around for his life. He doesn't deserve that. Even Trent Williams himself had a bad game. But it was ironic. Why is PFF giving McGlinchey a damn 74 overall grade for week 1? Like, why?
I mean, it's pretty clear because he can run block with the best of them, but his pass blocking is probably with the worst of them. And Kyle runs the ball. I would have to look at, did we run or did we throw more? But
it might be 60-40. We might be 60-40.
Yeah, and so I think that's why he gets probably the positive PFF grades because he's very good at run blocking.
And I've backed McGlinchey a lot. I mean, when our run game was amazing, and McGlinchey was a big part of it. I'm not going to take that away from him. He is coming off an injury, so there is that realism there. But I noticed, I forgot who the guy's name is. And I did forget who he was because he looked so damn disappointing to me. And even though I was excited about him when we first picked him up, I don't know why I was excited about him. I read The Fool's Gold, but there was a guy that we picked up who used to play for the Bears during the preseason, and we picked him up.
Gibson.
Not Gibson. He was playing in the right tackle. But long story short, he had played in the Minnesota Vikings game, the first Minnesota Vikings preseason game, and he was just like a matador. He was worse than McGlinchey. He just let the guy go right by him, and it happened a few times. And I was like, dude, this guy is not good.
What we need to focus on too is the fact that we found a gem in Hufanga, man.
Oh,
that guy
yes.
was all over the field and has been all over the field since, that Packers game was when he kind of came out to prominence to the national media.
Yeah.
That guy's been a beast all last year in practice. Finally, he's getting his opportunity now, and he looks like, Troy Polamalu out there. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a Hall of Famer on that level.
Yeah, I got you.
But, the guy just flies everywhere all over the damn field. He had like 11 tackles, nine solo, 2 passes defense, interception. It's like, God damn, that guy was everywhere. But he didn't get his shine because we freaking lost.
Oh, yeah. And trust me, all throughout the game, I was texting my boys or I sent little voice messages to my boys. Wow, I love what I see from Hufanga. Wow, check out Hufanga. Like, when I see him up towards the line of scrimmage and him making tackles to the running game, I almost feel like I'm watching National Geographic, like a lion just attacking his predator. It almost gives me those vibes. And I remember when he came out, I was like, oh, wow. My friend told me about Hufanga, and he's a great hitter from USC, and he's mentioned by Troy Polamalu, and blah, 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 blah. And I had people yell at me, oh, he's never going to be a Troy Polamalu. How dare you? So I said, no, I didn't say he's going to be him. I'm just saying he's mentioned by him, and he may pick up some of his traits. So I love the guy. He has great instincts. He did kind of messed up pretty bad on that Pettis play, but I'll let him slide for it because those things rarely ever happen.
That's a broken play. You can't really blame him on that.
Yeah. Well, he kind of blamed himself on it too, but I think him and Greenlaw both got confused on that one. It was one of their faults, but whatever, man. I mean, we can't go back and fix that. He says, what is up? You know what? Is my mic even set to the right mic? I didn't check my mic today. You know what? That's why my mic is Oh. Nobody told me that my mic wasn't the right mic set.
Oh, man, that sounds a lot better.
There you go. Yeah, it's actually using my mic. You know what mic was recording? So I have. I didn't select my mic. My bad. The mic that was selected by default is the mic connected to the camera. There's a camera that sits on a tripod, and the little built-in mic was picking up my voice. Good thing I was talking loud. Thank you, David. Nobody else noticed it though. We might have to do a do-over and do this show over again with the real mic. It's all good. But the most important thing is the guests, the guests that I featured. And with that said, we're going to cover a little bit more about the Seahawks game in just a minute. Welcome to the channel, dude. Good to see you on here. Thank you for telling me about my mic. I wish somebody else told me sooner. It's all good, though. But it's all good. I've used this mic for plenty of other shows. And I was talking into it as if I was using it today. So we're going to play this video of the Angry Degenerate. If you guys missed his rants that I played earlier, no problem. We're going to do this. We are going to play this video. This is his rant about the Las Vegas Raiders. So here we go.
By saying the NFL is a tough business, but goddamn, this 3-year span between the Mike Mayock and John Gruden regime, who John Gruden was really the boss, and he doesn't deserve a second chance at the NFL ever, mainly due to this fucking draft, because this draft set them back. 2019 to 2021. Look at the players on the team, not on the team, released, cut, in jail. Talk about a miss. What a fucking miss. John Gruden, you fucking loser.
Viewer discretion is advised. Hide your kids, folks.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of kids with bleeding ears tonight after watching this show. That's for sure, man. Again, all apologies for not having my proper microphone. It was recording off of my camera, which is that mic's like 5 feet, literally 5 feet away from me. Oh, now I do. I sound perfectly fine now because I have the proper mic selected now. That's cool though. It's all good. We're having fun on here. It's a great conversation. That's the most important thing that matters. I'm honored to have my guest here, the Angry Degenerate. If you do not know who he is, I found this guy on Instagram. He's got plenty of endless rants that he goes off about the 49ers and other teams, sometimes baseball. I think you may talk about I believe you're a Warriors fan, and I believe you may talk about the NBA from time to time. And if you haven't followed him on social media, click the description box of this video, follow him on social media. And okay, well, John V says I was crystal clear earlier. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks, man. Yeah, so we played that video, and let me just flash this on the screen really quick before I forget, because I am going to the game. But tomorrow there's a meet and greet in Sunnyvale, and I'm going to flash it on the screen for those of you who are interested. And hey, if you want to meet me and run into me, hey, or meet fellow other 49er fans, or Nick from Nothing But Niners is going to be there, I believe. Maybe Raj from Our SF 49ers is going to be there, if you know who he is on Instagram and YouTube. So there's gonna be a DJ Maniacal. It's tomorrow night, September 17th, from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. There is a $10 cover charge. A lot of the 49er rappers that I had on my previous shows will be there performing live. One of them is the Eye of the Niner. He's a 49er fan with the glass eye. Really, really cool dude, Ray Pena. There's a guy named 49er Dude who does my intro. If you heard my intro and heard the dude rapping on there. There's another guy, Dave Canal, aka Heat. He's gonna perform there. Del G is going to perform there. A whole bunch of 49er rappers. I could go on and on about that. And there's going to be some raffles they're going to give. And other than the raffles, there's going to be somebody selling 49er merchandise there as well. So it's going to run from 4 to 9 at the Metro City Restaurant / Bar in Sunnyvale, 919 East Duane Avenue, Sunnyvale, California, 94085. If you go on my Instagram page, go on my Facebook page, the 49er Minded Facebook page, or if you just go on Twitter, I may not have it up, but if you go through my older tweets, you'll see it. Or just hit me up on my DMs if you have any questions about it. It's tomorrow. I'm going to be there, and you can meet all kinds of Niner fans and chill with a bunch of Niner fans and have a great time, man. It should be a lot of fun. And obviously, there's going to be a pretty badass tailgates at Blue Lot 1. A lot of the rappers I just mentioned are going to perform there. And there's some other 49er rappers and all kinds of other fun stuff at Green Lot 1. So Green Lot 1, which is the main parking lot at Levi Stadium. Pole 20, which is Empire Row. Check out either one of those tailgates. I'm going to be bouncing around to both tailgates, to be honest with you. I'm going to be all over the place, man. Again, if you are going to the game tomorrow in Levi Stadium, there's a 60% chance of rain, I believe. It's going to be a 1/4 inch of rain. It's not going to be a monsoon. Not going to be like what we saw in Chicago or against the freaking Colts. But if, come prepared. I bought my ponchos, and it should be fun. Maybe it might not even rain during the game. It might rain before and after, but it'll be a lot of fun. But what do you got going through your mind in terms of playing the Seahawks tomorrow? Like, anything jump out at you in terms of any players we might have to worry about, or Pete Carroll, or
they gotta win. They gotta win because week 3 they go to Denver, and Denver is not an easy place to play. they're also going to be looking for a win, and we'll also be playing our nemesis Russell Wilson, who's a fucking weirdo, but that's a conversation for another day. But
You mean Mr. Unlimited?
yeah, dude's weird. Dude's a very weird guy. But the 49ers, they need to win this game because you cannot go 0-2 and then go into Denver 0-2 to play in Denver. It's just not the business. They need to go into Seattle. They need to go into San Francisco in their home opener, show them who's boss, and they need to defeat the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, they're just more talented all across the board. Maybe besides, I mean, maybe I was gonna say maybe besides wide receiver, but we have Debo and we have Ayuk. So I mean, with their quarterback Geno Smith, I know he had kind of a good game against the Broncos, but I don't anticipate that to happen again. You know, shit quarterbacks will end up trending back towards the mean, which is being a shit quarterback. And I fully expect Geno Smith to be that against our secondary and our pass rush this week. If I had to put a number on it, if I wouldn't. I'm not going to say that we're going to cover the spread because I think it's something crazy like 9.5. But I for sure think the 49ers will take the W in this game. I think they need to. It's out of necessity. So I think the 49ers, not being a homer, I think the 49ers will win this one just on a pure talent perspective.
I mean, yeah. So I was saying this earlier. Me and the boys, when we did our little podcast here, but to preview the Bears, we were like, we had all kinds of 20-point, deficits that we were going to say that we were going to cover. And this time around, it's like I don't even care how much we win, but I just want to win. But sure, if we win, I kind of see us winning by 10 points. I ain't gonna lie. Even the spread is 9.5, and it's a tough spread to beat. But I mean, Geno Smith, sure, he had a good game for Geno Smith. Let's just say that for Geno Smith. But in reality, I mean, did he really impress? I mean, okay, sure, he beat Russell Wilson. It was in Seattle, but I mean, 23 completions for 195 yards. Does that really blow you away? I mean, yeah, he had the 2 touchdowns.
He had a bad second half. He had a bad second half. He started the game out like 16 for 18 or something like that and had a very good first half. Second half struggled.
You got deep threats like DK Metcalf and freaking Tyler Lockett. And DK's get 7 catches for 36 yards? That's not impressive. Tyler Lockett, 3 catches for 28 yards. I mean, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our defense is way more fierce than the freaking Broncos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, Carroll does obviously have our number, and coaching is very, very important in the NFL. But this Niner team is so loaded and so stacked. Like, we did not see that. I don't care. We lost that game in Chicago. I get it. But that is not who we are supposed to be this season. And I just want to see Bosa coming out there, guns ablaze, hauling ass, getting to the QB. I want to see Drake Jackson in the mix. I'm big on Drake Jackson. I wanted him to get his first sack last week. I think he may have gotten a half sack, but I want him to get his first solo sack in this upcoming game. I'm really big on Drake Jackson. I predict my season prediction for him was to get 10 sacks. So, and plus, Seahawks are going to be without Jamal Adams. We got to take advantage of that. I mean, who do they have on defense right now that scares you? Do they have anybody that scares you on the Seahawks?
Not one player on their defense scares me. I think the 49ers should be able to have their way with him. But Kyle Shanahan sometimes gets stuck in this for such a very good play caller, which he is, and he can scheme guys open and do all that types of things. I think he just gets lost in the minutia of the game sometimes, and he gets off kilter. We saw that happen early last year. Some of that had to do with Jimmy's play, but I really want him to make things easy for Trey Lance. We mentioned here in the chat, a couple bootlegs would do nice. Get him out in open space. Let's feed Ayuk the ball more. George Kittle's going to be back, hopefully. That's going to help out the running game. And the 49ers just have so many different ways to beat you on offense, and I don't feel like we're fully taking advantage of that at this point in time. So this might be the game to do it.
Oh yeah, and I mean Ayuk, we're a team with Trent Williams on the squad. Trent Williams was ranked 99 in Madden, arguably the best offensive lineman, arguably one of the best players in the whole damn league. Nick Bosa, you could make the argument that he's one of the best players in the league. But with those 2 guys in the roster, they were saying Ayuk was the most dominant player in camp. So we got to see what this new Ayuk is all about. The one who worked with Trey Lance all off season.
I want to see Trey ball out. I just want to see him ball out. Not saying that he has to throw for 300 yards or any crazy stat line like that, but I just want to see Trey be the guy where when you're on the field, when you see him on the field, he passes the eye test, and I want Kyle to make him comfortable as well. And meaning if things are successful, you stick with them, and you work with them. You run those plays until they find a way to stop you. Don't put Trey in bad positions where he has to do design runs half of the game and bruise up his body. You know what I mean? Sure, he can make people miss, which I like, but does he slide? Even Justin Fields made a little joke about that in the presser.
I think the big thing that we need to worry about, that the 49ers need to worry about here, or not the 49ers, but this is a PSA to our fan base. If Trey Lance has a couple of bad games in the first half of the season, just freaking relax. The guy has barely played in like 2 years' time. He's 22 years old, and we need to give him some time. And these things don't have. Not everybody's going to be a Patrick Mahomes where they just get it like that. Not everybody's going to be a Josh Allen, and Josh Allen did not get it immediately. In fact, his first year he was pretty terrible. He only started getting it in his second year, and that was playing full time. This is Trey's first full year starting. I hear people out there saying, "Oh, 3 starts in, it's like, oh, this guy's not the guy." It's like, how can you say that after 3 starts? That doesn't make any sense. You're just a casual fan. So what I'm preaching to the Niner fans out there and the 49er faithful is, don't be a freaking casual fan. Give the guy some time. There's going to be some struggles, but at the end of the day, I think we have a solid surrounding cast around him to sustain it, at least for the first half of the season.
You got that right. I mean, you read my mind, because I've yet to hear, out of all the, it's funny because you make all these videos where you rant, and I never got to know. Before I had you on the show, I never knew what your stance was in regards to quarterback position, because I've been going back and forth with some crazy obsessed Jimmy stands, quote unquote Jimmy sexuals, who I hate to call that, but I mean, I'd rather just call everybody 49er fans. But the stuff they're saying that is ridiculous. I mean, there was literally people that I was going back and forth with on the 95.7 Morning Roast chat. Great show with Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky, Butcher Boy. Awesome show. But Monday morning was a shit show on there in the chat. You had quote unquote 49er fans bitching and moaning and crying and squealing, saying we're going to be 3-14. We're going to be 4-13. This is going to be terrible. We have to put Jimmy G in by week 3 at the latest, or else this team is going to crap. Like, really, dude? Like, come on, man. Like, I'm not saying that we're going to the Super Bowl with Trey Lance or we're going to win the Super Bowl, but I mean, you're going to see some bumps and bruises. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. But hey, along the way, we're going to see flashes of brilliance. We're going to see Trey Lance not make the mistakes that he once made, and that's how he's going to learn. He's going to learn by the speed of the NFL. Like, hey, okay, wow, I made that mistake there, but now in the future I know to do this instead. I know to anticipate this instead. Steve Young's been very supportive of Trey Lance, obviously, and I go by what Steve Young says, and I'm not going to panic if Steve Young's not panicking, and there's people out there, I hate to bring them up, who just live and die by this whole Jimmy G thing, and they swear he's going to be the quarterback, and it's like you have a conversation with them, they're like, oh well by week 5 Trey Lance is going to be on the bench because he's terrible. We're going to lose all these games. So it's like they don't have any hopes of this team winning. It's like, we have a stacked roster, guys. We have a stacked roster. We have a quarterback who's actually mobile. We have a quarterback who can actually throw the deep ball if they're going to try to stack the box on us. There's certain intangibles that Trey Lance brings that Jimmy never brought. And not saying that he's going to be a million times better than Jimmy off the bat, but you got to have some patience. You mentioned Josh Allen and some other guys too, but go ahead.
No, people forget. The 49ers last year started something like 2-5, 2-6, 2-5. I don't quite remember. And that was under Jimmy. So it's not like, this guy, Jimmy's he's going to come into the lineup and then we're automatically going to be a 10-win team. That's just not how it was. We scratched and clawed to make it to the postseason last year. You talk about, the rain games. Jimmy did not have a very good game under the rain in 2019 when we played the
Redskins back then, now the Commanders.
And he didn't have a good game in the rain against the Colts last year. So it's like all these unrealistic expectations. People, the Jimmy stands, as you're calling them. I'm a big Jimmy Garoppolo fan. I think the guy's legit. I think the guy gets the ball out quick. The problem with him, gets injured. You can't rely on a guy that gets injured all the freaking damn time. The best availability is what they say. And Jimmy ain't it in that regard. Now, is he a good guy? Do the guys, rally around him? Is he a good locker room guy? Is he a leader? Absolutely. But, if you're not on the field, you cannot perform. And that is going to, obviously put you in a bind. And that's kind of been the 49ers MO. When he plays, they win. When he doesn't, they don't. Well, now they have a quarterback in Trey Lance that does things that Jimmy can't do. But the problem is at the moment is that he barely has any experience. So Niner fans, just let him, we need to give him that experience. It might be tough these couple of games. And shit, we might even win tomorrow on Sunday, and he might not look good. But our surrounding cast, the team is what matters here until he gets his feet under him.
And people always talk about the defense and the running game and our playmakers who do all that crazy run after the catch stuff, carrying our team in years past. One bright spot from last week's game that I saw, a lot of people aren't bringing it up, the third phase of the game, the special teams. I think our special teams is going to be a lot more improved this year than years past. So I'm really excited to see what our special teams can do this year. With that said, I want to say what's up to Shifty's 49ers talk. He said Kittle is a major X factor. I think we went on Sunday. Another 49er podcaster, check out his YouTube channel. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Speaking of subscribe, I forgot to put my banner up earlier. I forgot to click on my mic earlier. I know, I did a lot of things I forgot. I checked the analytical data of this channel, and it said that half of my viewers who do watch my videos are not subscribed to my channel. So here we go. It says, I'm subscribed to 49er Minded. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. Just look up 49er Minded on all those platforms. You will find me. There's also 49erminded.com, which is in the early stages. You can check it out as well. And I'm excited about this game. It's good that we touched on that Jimmy G. I hate to bring it up, but it's not a quarterback controversy, but it's definitely there's definitely a lot of rumblings going on between the fans and the media and all this other stuff. And I was going to bring up one more point of Steve Young. For those of you who still won't accept Trey Lance as a backup, and you guys will still have this notion in your head that Trey Lance is automatically going to fail and make us lose all these games, and therefore we have to play Jimmy G. It's like, you're not Nostradamus. I'm sorry. I don't care how many years you watch football. I don't care how you analyze and slice a game and I think Trey Lance sucks. You don't just speak in absolutes and saying, yeah, we're going to go 3-14 if we keep Trey Lance in there. You don't know. We don't know either, but just let it play out. But Steve Young, I trust Steve Young a lot. He had some good things to say, and he put it in perspective, and I'm going to flash on the screen and read it out to you guys. So Steve Young right here says, on 49ers keeping Jimmy Garoppolo. This is just some insight for those people that are assuming that we're keeping Jimmy Garoppolo because he's a quote-unquote better quarterback, or he's a quote-unquote guy that's going to be our starter. So just read this. Steve Young said, Jimmy being there does not change the job. Jimmy's been fired. Kyle could not speak more forcefully that he did not want Jimmy to be his starter. If Jimmy is hanging around and our psyche is such that it causes you grief, you're not going to make it anyway. So that kind of gives you a little insight on that. And I want Trey to succeed really bad. Whether it happens this year or next year, I have this feeling that we're going to see kind of like slightly better than average play from Trey for the most part. You'll see the mistakes, but then you'll see the flashes. But I think maybe by week 10 is where you might see more of the consistency. And then from that point on, you'll just see, not saying that he's going to be freaking Mahomes by that point or anything like that. I just want him to be the next Trey Lance. And I think he'll gradually get better. And I'll something similar to what we saw from Josh Allen,
No, I totally agree. I don't want to compare the two because the comparison always gets thrown out there. Josh Allen's
an amazing player. He's just great.
Right. But I don't want to compare the two, but there is similarities in their makeup in the sense that, both guys play somewhat of a similar way, but both guys were raw. Both guys were green coming out. In Trey's case, even more green because Trey freaking didn't play for almost a full calendar year when he played in Division II with North Dakota State, whereas Josh was a full-time starter with Wyoming. So we just need to give him time, guys, and I think if we do that, which I expect that. I mean, Trey, just seen his history too. He got injured last year in the preseason, and he injured himself against the Arizona Cardinals as well with a knee. Let's just try to keep him on the field so we don't get any of these Jimmy stands out there. And by the way, I'm a Jimmy fan, but let's keep him in the back burner. Let's have a good backup.
My point is, I want everybody in tune and be 49er fans. Don't say we're gonna lose all these games when we haven't even freaking played them yet. Let's play the games. Let them play out. So before we go, we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. I just wanted to answer this really quick question by Shifty. Great question. He says, "Do you guys think Danny Gray is gonna be active for this upcoming game? I think Kyle has a couple of plays dialed up for him, ends around, deep passes, etc., etc. What do you think?" Because he wasn't even active for the last game. Danny Gray.
He was not, and Danny Gray, I feel, is one of those players that can be an X factor. At least from what I saw in the preseason. I know we can't translate everything from preseason to the regular season, but Kyle, in a way, kind of likes to bring on his wide receivers very slow, or at least he used to be a former wide receiver, so he kind of wants to kind of gives them a hard time a little bit. We saw that with Ayuk last year. So let's hope Danny Gray's not in that same boat where they're keeping him inactive. But for a reason like that, for maybe something he's doing in practice, haven't heard anything, just speculating. Yeah. But I love Danny Gray. I was at almost all the training camps, and he looked fantastic. He looked fantastic in preseason, and he's quick as hell.
Oh yeah, I mean, when they drafted him, they told him they loved his speed, but they also told him they loved his toughness. He's not a speedy, fast guy who's built like a twig like Deshaun Jackson. He's got a build to him. He's got some toughness to him. Excited to see him. He didn't play last week, and some people were really, really pissed off about it. I was kind of in the middle about it. I was like, okay, maybe the coaches saw something that he needed to work on, maybe, or maybe they just wanted to save him for this game because they thought it's a rainy game, not much of a passing game, and it was just going to be emphasized on the run when you know it's going to be that rainy. But it is what it is. We'll see Danny Gray eventually. His time's going to come. I'm pretty excited to see what he can do for us. I'd love to see him tomorrow, on Sunday when we're both at Levi's. I hope I meet you at the game, by the way. I'll exchange numbers with you after the broadcast. I know we contact each other via Instagram, and I'll probably run into you at the tailgate. But before you go, I mean, the floor is yours. If you have anything you want to plug or anything to say, man, go ahead.
No, man, I hope to see a lot of you 49er faithfuls out there at the stadium on Sunday. Excited to meet a lot of you guys out there. I get random people that come up to me and be like, "Are you that guy that does that podcast? If you see me, come say hi." Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and thank you, Bashar, for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, and I'm going to say this right now. You're more than welcome to come back in the future. I love that. I hate this word, but it just popped in my head, synergy or whatever. There's a flow of conversation. It's organic. It's natural. I didn't have notes on my screens or anything. Looking, what's the next question I'm going to ask this guy? Or, it just, a lot of it just popped in my head, and it was great, man. We meshed together very well, and this went together better. This went better than I expected, actually. Exceeded my expectations. So I'm very thankful for you coming on. I'm also thankful for the people up in the chat. We didn't get a huge turnout like we have in past shows, but what's up? What'd you say?
I said I'm here. I don't know what happened, but it seemed like the Wi-Fi went out.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was just kidding. I just want to shout out the people in the chat again. Thank you. I'm really appreciative of you guys being here. Didn't have a huge major turnout, but we had enough people, and the people in here are quality people, podcasters, people I'm very good friends with online, people I've had on my show, some people I'm going to have on my show in the future. They know who they are. I've reached out to them. So yeah, man, you guys are awesome in the chat. The people viewing at home. I know there's, if it's not a big turnout tonight, I get it. People are doing things with their families and getting ready to check into their hotels, like go to Santa Clara or whatever, whatever it be. So you can always watch the replay. That's fine. Some people don't watch my lives. They watch the replays instead. But we'll keep up with each other. Hopefully I'll run into you tomorrow. Hopefully we don't have to wear our ponchos the entire game. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we kick ass, and it'll be a great home opener for the 49ers. With that said, thank you guys for coming on here to watching 49er Minded, where we get into those minds of 49er fans. So keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded. Peace. Come on, 49er faithful, let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49 in mind. It's 49 in mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick done quick.
49 in mind.
Yeah, yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49 in mind.
We from the Bay.
49 in mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49 in mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49.